Bob e dar às pessoas uma outra oportunidade de reconhecer todo esse universo. Muito bem, Ricardo. Nós temos agora um convidado com a gente, que está entrando, né? Acabou de chegar aqui no nosso backstage, o fotógrafo, a pessoa que cuidou de todo esse processo, Bob Gruen, que desenvolveu esse trabalho, é um dos mais incríveis fotógrafos da história da fotografia, quem fotografou o maior, não é falar o maior, que é besteira, ele fotografou todos os grandes, as grandes estrelas do rock do mundo inteiro. Ele começa lá atrás, a gente pode dizer assim, de Bob Dylan até o Metallica, enfim, todo mundo que está aí no universo do rock, inclusive o nosso amigo Supla, né, o brasileiro, que também está fotografado pelo Bob Gruen. Muito bem, Bob Gruen. Hello, Bobby, how are you? Thank you very much.
Very good, very happy to be here.
Thank you very much to receive you here today. It's a great day for us, and I think that's a great day for you too, because now we are officially. That's it.
Yes.
That's good. Thank you very much for all, Bobby.
Well, I'm very honored that the Brazilian government and MIS, chose my photo to make this stamp. It's quite an honor. It's a real stamp. You can mail a letter with it, and I think that John Lennon is being honored, constantly celebrated today, not only as a musician but as someone who continues to inspire our world around us. With his wife Yoko Ono, they inspired people to imagine. And I've always admired John and Yoko because their dedication to promote peace in the world. And I hope that honoring John with this stamp will not only please his many fans, but also help to bring a new generation to his music and his art, and encourage people to go in peace and live in peace and imagine peace.
Pois é, that's incredible, Bob. I remember that we stayed together. We began in a little meeting in London.
Yes, in my room at the London Photo Fair. That's where we first met, and I really appreciate that you like my photos. And you're friends with my friend Supla.
That's it. Supla helped us in the beginning. I talked to Supla. The necessity to stay with you sometimes to talk about John Lennon, your exhibition here. After this, you introduced Sebastian Alderete, your agent, a great friend of
Sebastian Alderete. He's done a great job designing the exhibit, making the exhibit happen.
Onde é que estão Ricardo, Maíra, Luciano? They are here to say hello for you and to give you the compliments too, okay? Ricardo, está contigo.
Thank you, Kleber. Bob, when we met last year, you told me about the similarities between New York in the 70s and Sao Paulo nowadays. Do you remember this?
Yes.
But today is Sao Paulo's anniversary. And so I would like to ask you to talk about your feelings, your relationship with Sao Paulo, this big city. Not so big as New York, but the big city in a kind of way. Could you tell me, please?
I think Sao Paulo is more than 2.5 times the size of New York. There's more than 20 million people in Sao Paulo and about 8 million in New York. But we put them all in one little island. They get them really close together here in New York. But I like Sao Paulo very much. I like the people, and the language just sounds like music. I love the food. The neighborhood near the FAPA University where I stayed is very similar in many ways to the neighborhood I stay in New York. But as far as comparing to the 70s, that's when there was no money in New York. And nowadays, there's a lot of people, a lot of artists and so on who set up in Brooklyn instead of the Lower East Side like they used to in New York. The low price apartments are out in Brooklyn now. So all the kids are out in Brooklyn. But when they want to do a project, they have to look for a sponsor, and they have to rent a space, and they have to spend some money. But in the 70s, there was no money. So you didn't think about getting money. You went to plan B. How can you do this without money? And you can borrow, and you can make it up yourself. If you can't buy a costume, you can just paint one. And when I came to Sao Paulo, it reminded me of that, because there didn't seem to be a lot of money in the young art scene, but there seemed to be a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of excitement, a lot of people wanting to do things and figuring out how to do things without having to pay for them, without having to get a sponsor. And it's just so creative. And the people, I think that one thing I really like so much about Brazil is how they respect artists. In America, they have no respect for artists. It's very difficult here to get any kind of support. But the beautiful things we saw in Sao Paulo, just the respect we got, the respect that people have for art, for music, it's just amazing. So I'm very, very happy. Every time I wish I was in Sao Paulo now, actually, especially since it's summer, and in New York here it's winter. But that's not the only reason. I've been to Sao Paulo at all different times of the year, in December and June, and I've enjoyed it every time. Just great people, great city.
Okay, I would like to do a second question for you, because I was wondering about the feeling of a photographer. I would like to know, how do you feel? I know that's not the first time that a photo that you've taken has turned into a stamp, but I like to know the feeling of a photographer, to see his work turned from the music magazines or the music world to philately. How do you feel?
I feel very honored. I feel very lucky. There's so many people they could choose. Certainly John Lennon, there's many, many pictures, but people keep coming back and seeming to like my pictures. I think, it's quite a compliment that I can take good pictures, but also I think some of it is because of my relationship, that John was very comfortable with me, that we were friends, always making jokes. So he looks very comfortable in the photos. And yes, the U.S. government made a stamp, which was very exciting. And Yoko Ono came to the opening for that one. And this is the second, big legitimate country, that's made an official stamp. And it's just an honor that is almost surreal. Similar to when my photos were included in an exhibit in the Museum of Modern Art. It was something I couldn't believe that I achieved that, in the mainstream media. Because when I started out, they weren't even talking about rock and roll in the mainstream media, like the New York Times or somebody like that would never review a rock and roll concert. But over the years, it's become more and more important. And in fact, a friend of mine passed away, and the New York Times had two of them. The two obituaries on Monday, yesterday, was for Sylvain from the New York Dolls and for Phil Spector, who both passed away. And it was just, it's impressive to see so much rock and roll in the mainstream, because it's become mainstream and is the music of the people. And the fact that my pictures stand out, and that, the Museum of Image and Sound and the Brazilian government liked my photo so much that they would make a stamp, it's just a tremendous honor.
Okay. Thank you very much, Bob. It's good to see you again. Kleber, espero que eu tenha chegado pouco perto da sua qualidade como entrevistador. Kleber Papo.
Olha, Ricardo, muito obrigado por vocês todos. Bob, thank you very much. Um abração para vocês aí dos Correios. Muito obrigado.
Eu que agradeço. Muito obrigada.
Muito
thank you, Bob, very much.
Seeing all your faces, I wish I had come for real and I could be there. I had so much fun last March. It's the last trip we took before the lockdown. 5 days after we came home, we had to go and stay home all the time, and we're still staying home.
Yes, sorry.
So, coming to MIS was my last big exciting trip, and it was one of my most exciting because the exhibit is so beautiful. I recommend to everybody to try to come and see the exhibit. It's so unique. It's not just pictures on the wall. It's an environment where you can get to spend time with John and Yoko. And it's just so well done. I wish I could come back every day.
That's incredible, Bob, and thank you for that. I speak in Portuguese because several people here, they need to know what we feel about this. You are right. Essa é uma exposição, gente, que precisa ser vista de muitas formas. E a gente tem um orgulho enorme de estar com ela aqui no Brasil. É uma exposição absolutamente inédita. É um trabalho que está aí. Temos pouco tempo. Vão ficar poucos dias aqui ainda em São Paulo. Depois ela pode viajar para outros estados brasileiros. Então, as pessoas que puderem visitar, venham. Nós estamos aguardando vocês aqui no museu com muito carinho. Muito obrigado, Lu. Muito obrigado, Maíra. Muito obrigado, Dauro, Ricardo Alexandre. Thank you, Bob. We are waiting you and Yoko here to have our new exhibition in other states. We will be absolutely sure that we have to stay together because this pandemic will finish. I am sure that we will be happy in the future again. Okay? Bye-bye.
Great. All right. Well, thank you very much.
How are you?
Obrigado.
Kisses for your wife.
Obrigada.
Lu, muito obrigado. Ó, esse selo aqui, ó, eu ganhei um pinzinho hoje aqui, que é o pin do correio. Ó, é o selinho, é o olho de boi num pin delicioso. Lu, muito obrigado a você. A todos
eu que agradeço. Muito obrigado.
Okay, thank you.
Obrigado, Ricardo.
Bye, thank you, Bob.
Okay, thanks.